Welcome back, fan-fueled family. Today's episode of the Elder Scrolls Reading Club will be a bit on the shorter side. This will also be the last episode of the series for a while, as I'm working on a really big video for February that needs a bigger share of my attention to prepare. Today's episode will be The Art of War Magic.
There is no escape!
Chapter 3, Dispositions. Master Arctus said, 1. The moment to prepare your offense is the moment the enemy becomes vulnerable to attack. Leros Chile. Knowledge of the enemy mage's mind is of the foremost importance. Once you know his mind, you will know his weaknesses. Said Mar. Master Arctus advised Tiber Septim before the Battle of Five Bridges not to commit his reserves until the enemy was victorious. Tiber Septim said, if the enemy is already victorious, what use committing the reserve? To which Master Arctus replied, only in victory will the enemy be vulnerable to defeat. Tiber Septim went on to rout an enemy army twice the size of his. 2. The enemy's vulnerability may be his strongest point, your weakness may enable you to strike the decisive blow. Marandro In the wars between the Nords and the Chimer, the Nord shamans invariably used their mastery of the winds to call down storms before battle to confuse and dismay the Chimer warriors. One day, a clever Chimer sorcerer conjured up an ice demon and commanded him to hide in the rocks near the rear of the Chimer army. When the Nords called down the storms as usual, the Chimer warriors began to waver. But the ice demon rose up as the storm struck, and the Chimer turned in fear from what they believed was a Nord demon and charged into the enemy line, less afraid of the storm than of the demon. The Nords, expecting the Chimer to flee as usual, were caught off guard when the Chimer attacked out of the midst of the storm. The Chimer were victorious that day. 3. When planning a campaign, take account of both the arcane and the mundane. The skillful battle mage ensures that they are in balance. A weight lifted by one hand is heavier than two weights lifted by both hands. 4. When the arcane and mundane are in balance, the army will move effortlessly like a swinging door on well-oiled hinges. When they are out of balance, the army will be like a three-legged dog with one leg always dragging in the dust. 5. Thus, when the army strikes a blow, it will be like a thunderclap out of a cloudless sky. The best victories are those unseen by the enemy but obvious to everyone afterwards. 6. The skillful battle mage ensures that the enemy is already defeated before the battle begins. A close-fought battle is to be avoided. The fortunes of war may turn aside the most powerful sorcery, and courage may undo the best-laid plans. Instead, win your victory ahead of time. When the enemy knows he is defeated before the battle begins, you may not need to fight. 7. Victory in battle is only the least kind of victory. Victory without battle is the acme of skill. 8. Conserving your power is another key to victory. Putting forth your strength to win a battle is no demonstration of skill. This is what we call tactics, the least form of the art of war magic. Thulidin Dir Tharkun. By tactics, Master Arctus includes all the common battle magics. These are only the first steps in an understanding of war magic. Any hedge mage can burn up his enemies with fire. Destroying the enemy is the last resort of the skillful battle mage. 9. The battle is only a leaf on the tree. If a leaf falls, does the tree die? But when a branch is lopped off, the tree is weakened. When the trunk is girdled, the tree is doomed. 10. If you plan your dispositions well, your victories will seem easy and you will win no acclaim. If you plan your dispositions poorly, your victories will seem difficult and your fame will be widespread. Marandro Sul. Those commonly believed to be the greatest practitioners of war magic are almost always those with the least skill. The true masters are not known to the multitude. Okay, let's talk key terms. The Master Arctus here is Zurin Arctus, also known as the Underking and Armand the Fox. No, not that fox. Come on, editor me. Get it together, dude. Fair enough. Now put up the actual picture. What? Why the hell not? I mean, yeah, kind of, but we have to show the audience what he looks like. Thank you. Zurin Arctus... Wow, yeah, he is creepy. So yeah, Zurin Arctus was a powerful battle mage in the Second Era under Emperor Tiber Septim. He turned himself into a lich by fusing his life essence into a massive soul gem which formed the heart of an enormous Dwemer construct called the Numidium, or the Brass God. No, you're thinking of the Broken God. Now stop interrupting. Tiber Septim, also known as Talos of Atmora, Talos Stormcrown, and like a billion other names, was the first emperor of Tamriel. Nords are the hardy people of Skyrim. They have a strong cultural focus on accomplishing things with one's own two hands. They excel in all kinds of warfare. The Chimer were a race of elves that existed leading up to the end of the First Era. They were a race of golden-skinned elves that lived in Resdayn, which is present-day Morrowind. Due to their betrayal of one of their own, Lord Indoril Nerevar, and one of their gods, Azura, the Chimer were cursed. Their skin turned ashen gray, their eyes turned red, and they were henceforth known as the Dunmer. The mastery of the winds, also known as the Thuum or the Voice, is an ancient Nordic art that calls upon a rather unique form of magic by channeling the inherent power of the user's soul through words spoken in Dovazul, the dragon language. By focusing the power of the soul into direct concepts, a user of the Thuum can breathe fire, slow time, drain a target's vitality, tear a foe's soul from their body, and immediately reanimate their corpse, or...
But there's one they fear. In their tongue, he is Dovahkiin, Dragonborn.
It is traditionally associated with great Nord champions, especially the Dragonborn, who are mortals blessed with the blood and soul of a dragon by Akatosh, the father of dragons, god of time, and chief of all deities. That said, it is a skill, and with enough study and practice, anyone can master it. Those who use the Thuum are called tongues. While those that need to study and master the Thuum are expected to use the power in the service of meditation and connection with the divine, Dragonborn are held to a different standard and may use the power as they see fit. If there's interest, I can make a whole video on the Thuum and why Dragonborn are permitted to ignore the rules. The Thuum is referred to here as Mastery of the Winds because Kine, the Nord name for the goddess of the winds Kinnereth, breathed life into reality through the mountain called the Throat of the World. This breath formed the essence of life and the foundation of what the Thuum is capable of. A hedge mage is a magic user that lacks any formal training and learns their magic on their own. The term may possibly be derived from the similar term hedge knight, referring to a knight that has no land, titles, training, or equipment. They learn from the hedges simply by observing others and experimenting on their own. The term hedge has been used in this way at least as early as the 16th century, with Shakespeare using the term hedge priest in Love's Labour's Lost. So as I'm sure many of you have already gathered, the art of war magic is a direct reference and homage to the iconic treatise The Art of War by Sun Tzu. It is the earliest known book on military strategy and tactics and was written somewhere between 475 and 221 BCE. I've read a decent bit of The Art of War, though never all the way through, and I can see quite a few almost identical concepts here. Even my favorite passage in The Art of War is in here. Thus it is that in war, the victorious strategist only seeks battle after the victory has been won, whereas he who is destined to defeat first fights and afterwards looks for victory.
In war, the victorious strategist only seeks battle after the victory has been won.
Number 6 in The Art of War magic echoes this. The skillful battle mage ensures that the enemy is already defeated before the battle begins. A close-fought battle is to be avoided. The fortunes of war may turn aside the most powerful sorcery, and courage may undo the best-laid plans. Instead, win your victory ahead of time. When the enemy knows he is defeated before the battle begins, you may not need to fight. Now, the in-game book is actually more of a commentary on the original Art of War magic. The numbered entries are the original writings by Zurin Arctus, and the subsections are commentaries on his original writings by other mages. Some of Arctus's message I agree with, like number 2. The enemy's vulnerability may be his strongest point. Your weakness may enable you to strike the decisive blow. Sometimes, you can strike a very decisive blow from a vulnerable position because your foe lets down their guard. That said, there are also some that I think are just outright wrong. His whole message in number 10 is fundamentally flawed. If you plan your dispositions well, your victories will seem easy and you will win no acclaim. If you plan your dispositions poorly, your victories will seem difficult and your fame will be widespread. First of all, that's not correct on a basic level. If you win easily, people will talk about how you're so skilled that even in the face of overwhelming odds, you effortlessly seized victory. Look at Sephiroth, for example, especially before the Nibelheim incident. He never had to try, he just cut down his foes without breaking a sweat, even if those foes were giant fire-breathing dragons. He was regarded with immense reverence because he was this untouchable hero. Second, acclaim doesn't matter on the battlefield any more than a potential way to intimidate one's foe. Talk doesn't help on the battlefield. Wiping out the enemy quickly before they have a chance to wipe you out, that's what matters.
Now I find you in exactly the position that suits me. I had lots of time to learn how to shoot with my left.
When you have to shoot, shoot, don't talk.
The Art of War Magic is, as you'd expect, a skill book that teaches destruction, which is the classic war magic, fireballs and lightning and such. When you read it for the first time, you'll get a permanent 1-point bonus to your destruction skill. Unlike the books we've talked about before, the Art of War Magic has no static location in the world. It still has guaranteed places that you can find it, but they're not just laying around, they're carried by people. First is... okay, gotta rant again. No, you shut up. Shut the hell up. This needs to be said. Why are the Daedric Shrine names so absolutely insane in Morrowind? Our first 2 locations have names twice as long as a CVS receipt and 4 times as confusing. I get that it adds personality, but seriously, I love you Morrowind, but stop. Alright, rant mode off. The first location is Almer Balarami. Ha! Nailed it in one try. It's a shrine to the Daedric Prince of Madness, Sheogorath.
Cheese for everyone! Wait, scratch that. Cheese for no one.
In here, look for Aralosea Romori. She carries a copy of the book. She'll attack you on sight, so take it off of her body when you're done with her. Next is Sutanamas, a shrine to Molag Bal. Arva Mea Dalmani has the book here, and again she'll attack you on sight. The final copy is held by Tinaso Alan in the Tel Mora Tower Services area. She's non-hostile and in a town, so unless you're willing to murder someone that's protected by the laws of Morrowind or pickpocket her, probably best to go with one of the other 2. The book appears in Oblivion and Skyrim as well. So that's the Art of War Magic. I really thought this one was going to be a shorter one since the book itself is shorter than the usual stories we cover here, but it sort of went on about as long as the other episodes. What do you think of the Art of War Magic? Have you ever found it in-game? Do you agree with my analysis? Which of the 10 passages speaks to you the most? Let me know down in the comments. Like I said in the beginning, this will be the last episode of the Elder Scrolls Reading Club for a while because I've got a huge project I'm working on for you guys, and it's time sensitive. It has to be out by the end of February because... reasons. You'll see when it's ready. The regular Friday videos will continue, however, and, as necessary, I may have to cut back on the shorts on Saturdays and Sundays. Friday's video will be on the Barash Vow in Star Wars, so tune in for that. Thank you so much for watching. This series is fun, I just wish more people watched it. Not a single one of the Elder Scrolls Reading Club episodes has gotten more than 100 views, and it's a series I'm really passionate about. If you have anyone in your life that loves the Elder Scrolls, friends, family, coworkers, anything, please tell them about the series. If you like what I do here on the channel, please consider liking, commenting, and subscribing. It really helps out because it tells YouTube that you enjoy my content and that the algorithm should recommend my videos to more people. If you want to check out the entire Elder Scrolls Reading Club playlist, click here. Or click here to watch one of my shorter videos on the Brith. Thank you again so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.